Welcome to the Football Show on PLZ Soccer, sponsored by Arnold Clark. I'm Peter Martin. It's Wednesday. In the studio with me, Alan Ruff and Barry Ferguson. Here's what we'll be discussing today. Lots of news to get through, and of course the countdown to that Old Firm game on Sunday. We'll also look at tomorrow's Europa League fixtures, Rangers and Celtic in action. Of course, the news today emerging from Celtic Park, Ruffy, Mr Dembele missed training. Brendan Rodgers confirmed that Lyon and Marseille have been interested in him. He was over at Celtic discussing his future. The Lyon president has also confirmed that they have contacted Celtic to express an interest.
Yeah, I'm sure it's something the Celtic fans didn't want to hear, particularly with two massive games coming up. But there's been rumours that he was going to be moving in the last couple of years, and I think if the boy set his heart out and going to France, then if it doesn't go through, they're going to have another unsettled player, because I think he really wants to go.
Yeah, well, I'm not so sure about that. I think the difference here is quite simply that Dembele and the agent have kept their own counsel on this one. Slightly different from the Boyata one. When he didn't get one move, he started to, throw the dummy out of the pram. This one's slightly different. If anything, Barry, if they sell him, the timing couldn't be worse for Celtic. Their fans will be up in arms.
Yep. When I seen the news break about obviously Lyon been interested in, and obviously Brendan Rodgers coming out and confirming that, I was shocked, especially with two massive games, as Ruffy pointed out, on Thursday night in the Europa League and the big one on Sunday. Now, if I'm a Rangers player, a Rangers fan, I'm delighted to see that he's got a chance of going. But I find it strange how Celtic would sell him. For me, he's a top striker, and look, I know guys want to maybe go and try different leagues or earn big money. He's still a young boy. I think he would be better off staying with Celtic for another season. But I'm shocked and surprised that Celtic would sell him.
Yeah, 15 million's the figure that was talked about. Marseille were maybe going to throw in a player to try and soften the deal here, but I think Celtic would look back at the 25 million that West Ham were thinking about over a year ago, Ruffy, and wonder about it now. Celtic fans might think 15 million. But the key issue here is this is a Celtic side crying out for players. There's still no sign, and over and above that, to weaken your position going into an Old Firm game, it's almost as if you're writing the PR for them.
Yeah, well, Brendan Rodgers already came out and said they are a weakened side from last year, and this would just add to it as well. And as we all know, most big teams like to go with two or three strikers, and that would leave them really, low with the two strikers they've got. And to bring another striker in at this late stage will be difficult. So it doesn't look good from that point of view for a squad team.
But even if you buy a centre half, even if you buy a striker, if those two players were to go, Boyata if he goes, Dembele if he goes, even if you manage to get someone else in who's got the potential or is maybe a ready-made replacement, would you throw him in right away? I mean, it's difficult enough getting to know your teammates right away then.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, especially throwing a new player into the Old Firm game. Dembele and Boyata, they know what it's like to play in Old Firm games. They know the pressures and the atmosphere and the demands that are attached to these sort of games. But for me, it's a strange one. Dembele for me is on his game, a big game player, but a top player as well. And I find it strange that Celtic are even considering wanting to sell him. If I'm Celtic, I'm wanting to try and keep him and maybe offer him another contract and say, look, a year down the line or 2 years down the line, you can go, but we want to keep you just now, because Celtic have not had a great start of the season.
I think it's a massive PR disaster on 2 or 3 counts, and I think the chief executive will get it in the neck here if they go to the wire and sell these players. Not just about the sale of the players, Ruffy. It's about the amount of money that Celtic have taken in here and then failed to back the manager. They failed to get to the Champions League. You're looking at AEK Athens have confirmed their place in the group stages now, and they're no better than Celtic. So the manager can take his criticism of failing to get past a poor AEK Athens side, but over and above that, I think this board is in for a hell of a time if they get to the window right down to the wire and lose a key player.
Yeah, I think just to pick up on the point you made there about Dembele, somebody's going to start asking questions about the £10 million. You know, they could have taken 25, looks as if they're going to take 15. That's £10 million of money that could have been in the coffers of the club. So whoever's managed that one as well has got a lot to answer for us as well.
Yep, okay. I don't think it'll matter in the grand scheme of things for Saduva, because I don't think Saduva are a great side. If Celtic can't get past them, then they deserve everything that's coming to them.
Celtic will beat them comfortable for me, no matter if they don't play Dembele or Edward up top. If it's Lee Griffiths, I think they beat them by 3 or 4 goals. It's Sunday, the big one. It's a big test. Rangers are a different team, as we all know, under Steven Gerrard. And again, you want to keep your best players, and I'm sure the Celtic support, they'll be up in arms if he does go come Friday.
Yep, and of course, across the city, we're still waiting on the confirmation past his medical. Eros Greda could come in, so there's a winger. Whether he gets thrown in from the start, who knows? Koulibaly's out of the trip to Russia.
Yep.
It's an unusual one. This one kicks off at 3 o'clock tomorrow, Barry.
Yep, going back to Koulibaly, I think it'll be a big miss. I'm sure they're hopeful he's still got a slight chance of being available for Sunday. For me, he's impressed me. A lot of energy, strength, power. He's been a good signing for Steven Gerrard, and he'll be disappointed that he's not in the team on Thursday. But again, he'll be hopeful that he'll become available for the Old Firm game. Yeah, and one of the stories coming out this morning that maybe possibly 1, 2, 3 French clubs looking at Alfredo Morelos. I don't think Rangers will be too far away from getting him on what I would call one of those deals that protects them short term. Yep. But if he is going to go, they might get a right good few quid for him if he keeps scoring at the rate he's scoring at the moment. Yeah, well, he's come out and said that he's in a happy place at this moment in time, and he looks a happy player. He's scoring goals for me. He's probably in the best form since he's signed with Rangers. I'm with you. I think Rangers will get him tied down in a decent contract and say, listen, have a good season, and then come the summer we'll revisit it, and if the clubs are still interested, we'll let him go. Yep, okay. No problem with UFA, or is this a big one for them? This is, it's one that Steven Gerrard's within touching distance of Europe in his first season. Yeah, I would have been more confident, obviously, for the game at Fir Park. Defensively, that was the first time I'd seen Rangers a bit shaky. Certainly at set pieces, as we know, they lost 2 bad goals from set pieces. But I still think Rangers will have enough to go over there and come away with a draw. A score draw will do. It'll be a great achievement for Steven Gerrard to get them into Europa League and then get them back, and then you've got the big tasty one on Sunday. Yep, absolutely. Really looking forward to it on Sunday. Give us your view on what you think is going to happen in the Europa League matches, and of course, Old Firm Countdown continues right across PLZ Soccer on our YouTube channel, on Facebook, and on Twitter as well. We've got the poll running at the minute. Who do you think? What do you think the score is going to be first and foremost in that game on Sunday at Celtic Park? Okay, let's deal with some other signings along the way. Kenny Miller, 38 years of age, signs a 2-year deal at Dundee. Ruffy, he reminds me a bit of yourself because if he jumped out the window, he'd go up the way with a salmon in his pocket. 38-year-old, 2-year deal. Well, he's got a few salmon in the 2-year deal for a guy his age, If he was to complete the 2-year deal, obviously my mathematics would make him 40. But that's great. That's just a great insight from you. You can't buy that, Barry. And there's not many footballers going about playing top level at 40 years of age. That just shows you how well he's looked after himself. So, yeah, they need a goal scorer. We saw at the weekend that they are creating chances, but he's hoping obviously to find somebody who can hit the back of the net, and we know he can hit the back of the net, so it'll just be interesting to see if this is the turning point for Dundee. I hope it settles down for him, Barry. Just go there, play, score goals, avoid all the kind of a back page and headlines that's been coming his way, because I think he's been unfairly treated towards the tail end of his career. Yep, it's been a tough 4 months for Kenny, no doubt about it. How it ended at Rangers, for me, he was a great servant at Rangers. Obviously, looking forward to see how he was going to do going into management at Livingston. For some odd reason, it never worked out after 7 weeks. So I just hope Kenny goes up there and puts everything to bed, gets his boots on and goes out and scores a few goals for Dundee. I still think he's got it.
Yeah.
But I was just surprised that at his age it was a 2-year deal. But listen, if I'm Kenny, I'm taking that pen and signing it straight away.
Yeah, I mean, it is a surprise, by the way. I mean, you know...
Look, I'm not saying... I know how he looks after himself. He's a fit boy, but normally when you get to a certain age, 35, 36, it's normally 1-year contract. Go and prove that you can play a certain amount of games. I've no doubt Kenny could play 90 minutes in every single game for Dundee. I was just surprised it was a 2-year contract, but he'll go up there, and you know what? He'll be a leader in there in that dressing room, and if he gets the ammunition for the wide areas, he'll score goals. There's no doubt in my mind. Yeah,
there's a few raised eyebrows at the fact that suddenly Craig Whiting could be heading to Hearts out the door. Young guy, moved into that side at 16 years of age. I feel as if he's been around forever and a day. Yeah. He's been hampered by injuries, Ruffy, but there's a prospect going out the door and going to Hearts possibly.
Yeah, we actually were there the first day that he got his game. I think he only got 45, 50 minutes that day, but you could see he had something. But you're right, he's a kind of player that you thought maybe would have kicked on, and he hasn't really. Okay, he's had injuries, but Hearts must see something in him, that it's worthwhile taking a chance on him.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hearts at the moment, we mentioned that, Craig Levein, so many managers, I think, have sent him their best wishes for a speedy recovery, as well as the rest of Scottish football. But in the background, they're working away, they're getting deals done. Dimitri Mitchell back at Hearts, delighted to be back. I think he's a great prospect, so much so that I think Manchester United are looking and thinking, develop in Edinburgh at a club that will do well for you, and then come back to United and see if you can and make a name for yourself. And over and above that, I think they're still looking for a couple of other players before the window closes.
Yeah, I think the boy took 3 or 4 games to settle in at Hearts the last time, and I think just before he went back to Man United, he scored an absolute screamer at Tynecastle. And it looked as if he'd gained a lot of confidence. Then they obviously lost him, so I think he'll be a big asset to them.
Yeah, I like the look of him at left back.
Yeah, he impressed me every time I watched him last year, and it's a great signing to get him back. I thought maybe he would have had a shout with getting into the squad at Man United. But you know what? I think Hearts this season are going to be a force this season. I wasn't unsure. I was unsure, should I say, that he's going to make this amount of signings, how quick they would settle. But fair play to Craig Levein. He's signed some really good players, and they're looking at a proper team this year.
Yeah, and just picking up on that point, I hope they don't get derailed by Craig's illness. Because Austin McPhee, we've had him on the programme, Ruffy, great lad, great insight, great thinker into the game. The two of them seem to bounce off each other well. I just hope they don't lose the momentum that sometimes a manager can, instill in the players, bring the best out of them just with little things that he knows. Because you can't like him or loathe him. He's a bit like Marmite, Craig Levein, at times. He's got something there that inspires people, and you look at his record.
Yeah, and the thing about it is he's brought most of these new players in, so the new players would respond to the manager being there. So they'll have to get their head around it as well. They know he's going to be coming back. But no, I think, as Barry said, they've started the season well. They look a difficult team to beat. They used to be, they would stop the game and then try and win it, but now they're on the front foot.
Yeah, absolutely. You can give us your view on the signings at Hearts and, of course, the transfer window, because there are a number of clubs who are trying to add to it. Kenny Miller's got his 2-year deal. Dimitri Mitchell back at Hearts. I'm still waiting to see what the Hibbies are going to do. Neil Lennon, I was listening to him last night on television, just talking about the fact of the spending power of Celtic and Rangers. But, obviously he's going to try and, make at least one more signing before the window. And he was fairly open about it. You've lost a quality midfielder in John McGinn. It's going to be hard to replace him. But I think Hibs, top 4.
Oh yeah, I think they'll definitely be top 4. I think they'll maybe edged down a wee bit for where Neil was going for second, and a confident second last year, and it never happened. But I think, unfortunately for him, obviously Rangers have strengthened a wee bit. I wouldn't be surprised if Neil's still plugging away for Scott Allen. I think Scott Allen must be saying to himself, where do I fit in this setup with all these players coming and going?
Yeah. I mean, if you say top 4, that must mean that you think that the natural order in Edinburgh is Hibs and then Hearts.
I just got a feeling that Neil, with what they did last year, if he was to get another couple, 2 or 3 players in, I would go for. I think the two of them are maybe even just now, but at the end of the day, if Neil got the players in, I think they would just get third.
Yeah, it goes back to what quite a number of people have been mentioning, and your old bunker Chris Boyd mentioned it as well. He feeling there's only one place up for grabs in the top 6 this season. He feels as if 5 of them are a shoe-in. You know, it's just that 6th place that's the battle.
I totally agree with him. I think obviously Rangers, Celtic, Hearts, Hibs and Aberdeen, that's your top 5 without a doubt. So there's only one more place. It's like a mini league for the rest of the teams. No, often I agree with Boydie, but I'll agree with him in that one. But I think it's going to be good. Hibs, go back to Hibs. They lost their full engine room. That's the most important part of the team for me. They lost McGeoch was a massive player for him as well, and Scott Allen. And to be fair to Neil Lennon, it shows you how good a manager he is. He goes and he pulls Malin, who I think is going to be a top player, and I think he'll have another 1 or 2 up his sleeve. But I'm looking forward to it. As you say, every team's strengthened, and it can only be good for the game up here.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if. Yeah, I think a lot of people look and see what Steve Clarke's trying to do there. I mean, he's managed to get Aaron Shabola back this season again, just announced the signing today. So he did mention the fact that he was trying to duck and dive in the window. He was still short. Malumbu, I think everybody realises is a huge loss, Ruffy, but getting Shabola in there, he was tasty when he was on his game.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately for Steve Clarke at Kilmarnock, the standards they set last year will be hard to equal. You know, I think there was always a wee bit of a dip, you know, after you have such a good season like that. But again, you know, they've certainly got the players there, and with Boydie up front, you know, I don't know if he'll play as many games this year, but certainly he'll get you goals. So they'll be the team, you know, along with, I would say, Motherwell, who are maybe going for that 6th place.
Yep, you going for Kilmarnock in the 6th place then?
No, I'm going to go for Motherwell.
Motherwell, yeah, Barry. Early days, I mean.
Yeah, it's early, but I still, obviously, Greg Stewart they've signed from Birmingham as well, who's a good player. Always liked it, just didn't work for him last year at Aberdeen. But I think if you've got goals in your team, which Kilmarnock have with Boydie, and obviously they've signed Greg Stewart, and I think you'll still bring in 2 or 3 players. I think Kilmarnock will get that 6th place.
Yep, okay. We will keep you up to date all the way through till the close of the transfer window on the movers and shakers. You can give us your view on that. There's a couple of things which obviously will emerge over the course of the evening, possibly later in the week. And I'm talking, of course, about Hampden or Murrayfield. Now, my sources tell me that board visited Murrayfield and Hampden today, Ruffy, looked over what they had to offer. I mean, I don't know why you would even walk around them. You must know what's at stake here. I mean, it's all. It cannot be. Let's look at the stadium at Hampden and then let's go through and see Murrayfield again. Yeah. Surely the decision's been done and dusted rather than going through this posturing of walking around the stadium.
Yeah, I would like to think so as well. You know, but I think it's been well talked about that the minus side of playing at Hampden is when we play these games that the stadium's no full. Now that just works the same way at Murrayfield. That's what 12,000 a larger stadium. So if we start going to a stadium like that, it'll be even worse. You know, because the gaps will be all over the place. Yeah. I think the only thing that I think Murrayfield's done is they've been very active in promoting their case, whereas I don't think Hampden's done enough. I don't think there's been enough people out there saying this is why.
It doesn't need to do anything. That's what football should be. Well, I think it's pointless. Why walk round about Murrayfield? Why?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't need to walk round about. They must know.
Yeah, I don't buy into Murrayfield, you know, I don't buy into the atmosphere thing. That's the first thing. I think we just throw that out as a red herring. Good teams create an atmosphere. Winning teams create an atmosphere.
I think Ruffy's going with the friendly games when you're only getting 20,000. It's a good point. I think then, but look, you've got Tynecastle. Yeah. You've got Easter Road.
Absolutely, but they can't. I think there's a two-pronged attack here. For internationals with Scotland, there are certain ones that need to be at Hampden because if you take the contract out with Hampden, if they buy it, if they buy Hampden and the SFA own it, they might look and say, OK, occasionally we'll give the friendlies out to Pittodrie, to Tynecastle, to Easter Road. That's fine. But the main games, and of course then you have to look and you say to yourself, well, if this is the national stadium, is it all or nothing? Are the cup finals then through in Murrayfield? Do you have 70,000 Celtic and Rangers fans? on their way through to Edinburgh? Do you have the people in that surrounding area suddenly getting 70,000, and half of them don't like each other?
Yep.
It's a real rude awakening. I don't like Murrayfield as a stadium that's any better than the faults that Hampden has.
Yep.
And I also think, over and above that, the football, the history, the heart of Scottish football is at Hampden. They can go and rectify the problems there in the next couple of years. And I think the 7 board members, if they decide that it's Murrayfield, you should remember their names for sinking our game.
Yep.
At national level for a stadium.
I agree with every single point you've made there. For me, it's got to stay at Hampden. There's so much history there. That's the home of Scottish football. I know there is issues with the atmosphere at times. I have played in international games where it's not been as good, and maybe you're getting 35,000 in. It's the areas behind the goals. As you say, they can rectify that the next year or two.
Yeah.
We're bringing that in a bit and spending a bit of money. But for me, it's a crazy idea even to think about going through to Murrayfield. That's rugby. Leave rugby through there and leave the football here.
Why should we finance the SRU, Ruffy?
Yeah, you're right. The history of Scottish football is at Hampden. It's not Murrayfield. It's down in the bottom floor at Hampden where you can see what the history of the club is, or the history of the game is in Scotland, and that's why it should remain there. Because if you get the opportunity to get down there and you see the crowds of days gone by, and everything that goes with it, and I just don't mean Rangers Celtic games or Scotland England games. I mean other games that have the memories of everybody being there. If you want to go see it, go down to the museum and you'll see why we should stay at Hampden.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're all in agreement on that, which is quite unusual on the show. Just one little point to end. The FA have backed any club that can get the authorities in their area to back safe standing. I think it's a great thing. I'd like to see more and more clubs embrace it up here. I think Tynecastle would be magnificent with safe standing. I think Ibrox would be fantastic, Barry, with a section.
I think all the stadiums up here would benefit from it, the safe standing. You've seen, obviously, down in England, they've done quite a few stadiums like that, and it's worked. Abroad, they do quite a lot of it as well. So I would like to see it brought up here.
Especially the top flight. I mean, there's no doubt Manchester United suddenly got the all clear from the authorities to put safe standing in. It'd be the Stretford end.
Yeah.
Think of the Kop.
Yeah, we look at it
with safeties measures at its absolute tightest. Everybody knows.
Yeah, it just means that the people who have got it have to prove to everybody else it works. That's the main thing. And if you can see that the atmosphere is improved, then so be it.
Yeah, I mean, the atmosphere, Ruffy, at Celtic Park, I mean, there are certain aspects of the Green Brigade which a lot of people find hard to swallow, but they create a good atmosphere.
Yes, I mean, you just have to go to the games. Even I think every club has a segment where they are. Even at Motherwell, they've got a wee corner down there where they get together.
Yeah.
And Hamilton have got it, and most of the other teams have it, and it just adds to the game because there's nothing worse than going to a game and there's nobody singing.
Well,
there's no atmosphere, there's nothing happening. It just needs to be promoted.
I like it. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
And for me, the best stadium up here to play in atmosphere-wise is Tynecastle. Imagine a part of that being safe standing. I think it would be great.
Yeah, imagine getting a throw-in and you have to walk near it.
No, I don't fancy that. Thank God I've retired.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, good to have a chat on all those burning issues. Give us your thoughts on YouTube, of course on Twitter at PLZ Soccer and on Facebook.com/PLZ Soccer as well. Thanks to Barry, thanks to Ruffy. Join us tomorrow and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. From myself, Peter Martin. Thanks for watching. Good night.